Okay, so this is factoring trinomials, part 2. And in this video, we're going to factor trinomials where you actually have an a value here. So this is where the formula is ax squared plus bx plus c. So notice this time, instead of a 1, we actually have a value. So for example, we have 3y squared plus 10y plus 8. So this time, we actually have to multiply 3 times 8, or a times c. So we want to get a product of 3 and 8, which is 24, and we still have our b value of 10. So instead of just looking for our c value and our b value, we're looking for the product of a times c. So we want the product of a times c and a sum of the b value. So we need to find the factors of 24 that add up to 10. So we're looking for factors of 24, which is a times c, and then the sum of 10, which is your b value. Okay, so we found 6 and 4 to be our factors of 24, and that also add up to give us 10. So we're looking for a times c and then b. Okay, so now we're going to rewrite our problem. We're rewriting 3y squared plus 10y plus 8. How can we rewrite that? We're going to use these factors. We're going to rewrite it as 3y squared plus 6y plus 4y plus 8. Now I'm going to group it. Okay, I'm just going to break it apart. I'm going to put parentheses in here. Okay, so I've got 3y squared plus 6y and 4y squared, or no, excuse me, 4y plus 8. Okay, now I want to use the GCF, or the greatest common factor. I'm going to use the GCF and I'm going to factor this. Okay, so 3y squared plus 6y, what do they have in common? Well, they both have a 3, because 3 and 6 both have a 3. They both have a y, so y squared and y. So if I pull out a 3y, I'm left with y plus 2. So now I'm going to come over here. What do 4y and 8 both have in common? Both of those can be divided by 4. So I'm going to put a plus and a 4 because they're both divisible by positive 4. And then I'm left with y plus 2. So now, to solve my problem, I'm just going to write it out here. What do I have? I have 3y plus 4, that's going in one parenthesis, and I have y plus 2, that goes in the other parenthesis. So in factored form, this is your answer. And if I were to FOIL that back out, I would get this as my original answer. Confused yet? Let's look at another one. Whoa. Okay. So here we want to look at 7x squared plus, or excuse me, minus 26x minus 8. So remember, we want to multiply our a value times our c value. A times c gives us negative 56, and our b value is negative 26. So this time we're looking for factors of negative 56 that also give you a sum of negative 26. So our factors of negative 56 that give you a sum of negative 26 are negative 28 times 2. Negative 28 plus 2 happens to give you a sum of 26. So let's rewrite it. 7x squared minus 28x plus 2x minus 8. Okay? Group it. 7x squared minus 28x times 2x minus 8. What do they have in common? These both have a 7 and an x. 7 and an x. When I pull it out, I'm left with x minus 4. These both have a positive 2 in common. When I take a positive 2 out of each of these, I'm left with x minus 4. When you do this, you should have, with each of them, a common thing inside the parentheses. So my answer here is 7x plus 2 and x minus 4. All right, let's look at another one. Okay, again, when you multiply your a times your c, 3 times 10 is 30. So what am I looking for? I'm looking for factors of 30 that add to give me a b value of negative 17. Negative 15 and, whoop, that should be negative 2. Negative 15 plus negative 2 give me negative 17. Negative 15 times negative 2 gives me positive 30. So, first step, rewrite it. Okay? I rewrite this, I get 3x squared minus 15x minus 2x plus 10. Okay, so all I did was write this in expanded form. Group it. Okay, so I'm going to put 3x squared minus 15x in my first set of parentheses. And I'm going to put negative 2x plus 10 in my second set of parentheses. Okay, so now find the GCF. Whoops, I don't want to write that yet. What can I pull out of both of these? Both 3x squared and 15x are divisible by 3. Both 3x squared and 15x are divisible by x, leaving me with an x minus 5. Okay, what do both of these have in common? Both can be divided by a negative 2, leaving me with x and minus 5. I manipulated a little bit here to make sure that I got a minus 5. So when I put it all together, I'm going to get 3x minus 2 and x minus 5. So if I went through and worked this back out, I would end up with 3x squared minus 17x plus 10. Okay, what if I have to factor out a monomial first? In other words, I have this huge number, 20x squared plus 80x plus 35. I don't want to multiply 20 times 35 and then have to factor from there. But look, these all have something in common that I can pull out because everything ends in a 0 or a 5. So I'm going to pull out this 5 first. I divided everything by 5. So now what I'm dealing with is 4x squared plus 16x plus 7. Now I can factor as normal. Now I'm looking at my A value here times this C value. I can just ignore this 5 for a little while. Now I'm doing 4 times 7 and I'm looking for factors of 28 and a sum of 16. So 2 and 14. I can rewrite it. Here's my 5. 4x squared plus 2x plus 14x plus 7. I'm going to group it this way. 4x squared plus 2x times 14x plus 7. I've just kind of tossed away the 5 temporarily. Now, my GCF, I'm going to pull out a 2x from both, x plus 2, plus 7 times x plus 1. So here's what I get when I go back and regroup. 2x plus 7 times x plus 1. Now, don't forget about the 5 you factored out way up here in step 1. So my final answer is 5 times 2x plus 7 times x plus 1. And this is how you factor out a monomial, or a trinomial, when there is an A value.